So in this video, slightly different video, I'm going to show you my golf swing. I'm going to explain to you what I'm trying to change in my golf swing, why I'm trying to change those things, and I'm also going to show you how I'm getting on with those changes. Welcome back to the Forest of Arden, and in today's video I'm going to show you my golf swing and I'm going to tell you what I'm working on, exactly why I'm working on those things and what I'm trying to do to improve my game. So recently I did a video talking about swing changes and I asked you to comment in the comments box with what you were working on with your golf swing, and thank you to all of you who did comment. Really insightful for me to get an idea what people are working on. But I thought it was only fair that I do the same and show you exactly what I'm doing in my golf swing. So just before we get started, if you're new to my channel, I would love you to be a subscriber, be part of the journey to help you play the best golf of your life. There is a subscription link in the box down below, but if you'd rather wait to the end of the video, there's a clickable link over there, which will again get you to do just the same. So before we look at my golf swing, let's just talk about the type of shots that I hit on the golf course, and also what I would like that ball to do differently to help me play some better golf. For as long as I can remember, I've played this game right to left. My predominant ball flight is a ball which starts to the right of my target and curves to the left of my target. Now, for many of you, that might sound fantastic and something you're working towards. And for me, I'm not unhappy with that ball flight, but very often I hit shots which start out to the right and don't come back, so a push shot. And very often I hit balls which start out to the right, curve back, but curve too much and miss my target to the left. Now, with the beauty of kind of TrackMans and technology, I'm able to measure these things, and my club path, you know, when I'm not swinging great, can get sort of 6-7 degrees to the right of the target, which is far too much. That makes it very, very difficult to control the curve on the golf ball, because ultimately I need different sort of club face positions with all the clubs in the bag to help me hit target. It's just not very consistent. So I can go out there and have great days. I can shoot subpar rounds, but I could tee it up the next day and struggle to break 80, and that's really where I struggle with my golf game. So I would love to get to the point where I can actually hit a consistent fade. That's what I'm trying to work towards. So now we're going to go through kind of why I hit the shots that I do. So let's just quickly show you my golf swing in slow motion. I'm going to pop it on the screen now, and this is just me hitting a standard 7-iron without any swing force. This is me just kind of thinking of target and just making my golf swing. Now, what you can see is I tend to get the club a little bit too much inside. It tends to get a little bit too much behind me too early. I tend to roll the club in. You'll notice that the club shaft gets very flat halfway back. And then at the top, I tend to lift the arms and get the club very much across the line. So you can see how the club head is very much to the right of my hands. This is where I start to get the issues, because as I start down, that becomes very, very steep in the early downswing. As I progress, I tend to shallow the club, but that shallowing process is quite late. And the shallowing process tends to happen sort of mid to late downswing. So when I get to this kind of last parallel, the club head is behind my hands, my path goes out to the right, and then I have to kind of manage the face to get the kind of to get the ball back. The other thing which you don't really see from that face on angle is I tend to, with my upper body, I tend to extend too much through my spine. So what does that mean? It means that this would be where I want my spine position, but as I get to the top, I tend to extend a little bit too much this way with my spine, and that tends to sort of compound the problem and make that club move a little bit more across the line. So, kind of first point of changing the golf swing is understanding what you're doing and how to change it. So, you know, what I do try and work on it is, or what I would love to try and be able to do is have a golf club which is much, much more under control early on, get a club which is steeper at this kind of halfway position. And then from here, the kind of flattening of the shaft happens from here towards the top of the golf swing. At the moment, towards the top of my golf swing, the club shaft is in the process of steepening. As it's steepening and I extend my body, that makes it a hell of a lot worse. As I start down, excessively steep, and it's a recovery process. So really important that we kind of understand this, because lots of golfers out there are trying to shallow the club shaft. I shallow the club shaft, it's just far too late. The golfers who shallow the club shaft very well tend to shallow it in transition. I steepen it in transition and shallow it much later, which is far more difficult to manage. So if I was to try and rehearse a golf swing that I would want to see, it would be a little bit more kind of in here, a little bit steeper, working up, feeling a little bit more laid off with a better upper body position. And then from here, the club shaft, the club head, and the center of mass of the golf club, which is around about here, are much more under control, and I'm able to use my rotation and get the club, what I feel is actually tipping back in front of me, which helps me get my club path more neutral. how am I doing? Okay, I can do it in practice. I can stand there and I can hit some shots fairly slow motion and get something which looks pretty good. I find it really difficult with the longer stuff when I'm adding more speed, and I also find it more difficult when I'm on the course with targets, greens, people playing, whatever, something like that. So, you know, there's a process to changing a golf swing. I'm not yet at the stage where I feel like I can transition it to the course. I'm still in the process of working at it during practice to get to the point where I feel more comfortable with those movements and putting them together at some speed. And it's, you know, it's a good message to put across that making a swing change has got phases to that. It's not a case of someone telling you what to do, hit a few shots, go on the course, and why isn't it working? There's phases to that. I would never expect to go on the course and expect to do it. You know, if I went on the course now, I'd hit right to left shots, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means I'm not quite at that stage of the change yet. So I'm now going to hit a shot where I try and kind of show you what I'm trying to do. Now, this shot might not be as good a result, and I might have to take the speed down a little bit, but you're going to see me now do a golf swing where I'm trying to work on those things, and you'll see that I can get a little bit closer. So I'll pop that up on the screen now. And you can see, whilst there's certain things in this golf swing which need to be ironed out, it looks a lot better. And I know that when I practice in my coaching bag with TrackMan, I'm able to produce a much more consistent club delivery, and therefore I'm able to produce a much more consistent ball flight and a much more predictable curve when I do it that way. So, you know, it is a journey. I'm on that journey. I don't unfortunately get as much time to practice as I would like, and especially this time of year when it's freezing, my sort of energy levels to go and practice aren't as low as I would like. They should be. I need to get some more practice in because I feel like I can make these changes. I'm just in that process of kind of going through the changes at the moment. But you know, it's really interesting because many of you will be changing your golf swing. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight as to what I'm doing and also kind of why I'm doing those things, because it's really important that you understand your golf swing, understand what you need to do to make you better. All about impact. Understand what happens at impact. Figure out what in your golf swing is making those things happen at impact, and that is the best way to improve. Right, let's finish up with one more shot. Right, so let's try again, do something which would be kind of what I want to do, not what I actually do. So feeling a little bit different in the backswing. It wasn't a great strike and the speed was a bit down, but might be a little bit better. Notice my rehearsals there were very extreme. Feeling this will get me around about here. That's the really key thing. It's understanding the feels, and the reels are very different. So that is my swing update. I probably should do a couple of these a year so you can see how I'm getting on, but that kind of puts me in the accountability phase, doesn't it? So well, we might do that. I might put the one up towards the end of the season. You can see how I'm getting on. Thanks for watching. Usual stuff is down below. Comments box, like button, and the subscribe link, as we said, is down there, and also a clickable link over there. I would love you to be a part of my journey, and together we can help you and me play the best golf of our life this year. Thanks for watching.